Mr. Investor Lot, welcome back to the channel. This is what the stock market feels like.
This is Sparta!
We used to be enjoying double stonks, but now it's just a sea of red, baby, a sea of red. So despite everything that's going on in the market, what is smart money doing? So do you want to know what Cathie Woods is doing in a stock market correction? So after the market closes every single day, I use this site to track what she buys and what she sells, but there's also so many other interesting features that we can look at on this site. So before we get into that, let me introduce myself. For those of you that are new on the channel, my name is Miguel and I look for the biggest, juiciest growth stocks, baby. I want to 10x my money, I want to 20x my money, I want to 50x my money over time. I'm a long-term investor and none of this is financial advice, this is for entertainment only. But today I'm going to be showing you so many interesting things that ARK is actually doing. If you like this kind of content and you want to help support my channel, just click the join button above my head. It's only 99 cents a month. You can pick any tier level. Also guys, I've been working on a Discord group. It's really exciting. It's going to be a place, a community where we can discuss stocks, show our due diligence and really deep dive into these stocks and generally share information and build a community. If you want to join that Discord group, all you have to do is sign up to the Patreon on any level. Even the early donators, I'm going to give access to Discords. And if you want 2 free stocks, just put $100 in the Webull account. The link is in my description box below. But if you're unable to join channel memberships or our community groups, just you hitting like and clicking subscribe on this video means the world to me. Also make sure you click the notification bell because we're going to be looking at a lot of different stocks that I think have growth opportunities in the future. Okay baby, so every day I use this site, Lucid Tracking. Look in my description box below if you want to use it to track her buys and sells. But what's interesting is it's different from the email. In the email we receive the kind of generic buys and sell alerts for the whole day. They usually attach an Excel sheet, but I heard it may be changing and they don't include all of their buys and sells. On here however, there are several different features which makes it easy for you to look at what they are buying and selling and how much conviction they have. But first, before we get into this, I'm going to show you a quick video to show you how she behaves and if the strategy changes during a market correction. So this is Jason Raznick on the Raz Report, baby, and he was asking Cathie Woods some interesting questions from his viewers.
They wanted me to ask you if we start seeing technology stocks sell off for a couple of years or a year, do you switch strategies? Do you, what do you do in that scenario?
We will, in a sell-off, any sell-off, we will concentrate towards our highest conviction names. So during the coronavirus, for example, the crisis, we went down to 33 names in our flagship portfolio. Today we're up to 55. So what we will do in an extended correction is we will concentrate the portfolio once again to the top 30, 35 stocks. Because those are the ones in which we have the highest conviction, and it has been that conviction has been growing over time.
Okay, so that's what she said, and now I'm going to show you how they've been behaving. So on the website, you can see the buys, you can see the sells down here, and this is for each portfolio, right? But the ones I'm extremely interested in is the aggregates, the new adds and drops, and also the change in ranking. So what I do is I go up here to aggregates, I have a little clickety, and remember she said she'll concentrate on the top 33 stocks that she has the most conviction in, and she'll probably double down on these during a market correction, right? So we can see here Square Inc, Zillow Group, Roku, Shopify, Zoom. You can see exactly how much is bought or sold here in terms of millions of dollars. $64.6 million worth of Square Inc. Also in terms of the 1 day shares change, you can see exactly how much shares she bought within a day, how much percentage this has actually changed in terms of the amount of shares. So she's had 8% more shares of Square Inc. She added 11% more shares of Zillow Group, and you can track this over the last 7 days. You can track this over the last 14 days and the last month, 30 days. So why is this important? So this is important because you can see how they start to build out their positions over the course of a month and how bullish they get. So if something changes, they can add a lot of shares. As we know with Square Inc, for example, they've just bought Tidal. They've bought a lot of Bitcoin as well. As we can see here, bought Tidal for $297 million. On the 24th of February, you can see here they bought $170 million worth of Bitcoin. And I also saw ARK Invest selling a lot of PayPal, and they see that Square has just launched its own bank. So tracking aggregates can show you the kind of process of ARK Invest over the course course of a month. And I think it's really important to see how much it's actually changing, how many shares they're building, how much money they're spending on certain stocks. Now, this is really interesting as well. If you go to rankings page, you'll be able to see this. So on March 4th, 2021 rankings, you can see how much they've actually got in terms of total spend on all of these stocks. So we know that these stocks will fluctuate in value, but you can see here they still hold $3.2 billion in Tesla, $2.2 billion in Teladoc, $2.1 billion in Square Inc. And remember, she was saying about highest conviction stocks. You'll be able to see here exactly what stocks she's spending on. This ranking system will be able to show you the highest convictions in their portfolio because it's the most money they've got. She recently said something about Zoom video communications as well, so she's been doubling down on that, and she's actually sold a lot of PayPal recently. So here, as you can see top left, it says PayPal Holdings Inc. And on March the 4th, she sold $216 million worth of PayPal. So previous to that, she had $631 million worth. So by selling $216 million, it's almost like 30% she's selling of her position in PayPal. As well, guys, remember Workhorse didn't get the USPS contract. She's just been doubling down. So someone was saying this is just a strategy that they usually do. But it seems that every time Workhorse takes a major dip, she added $9.5 million on the 24th of February. And yesterday she added $6.3 million to Workhorse. So in terms of our mindset and seeing, this sea of red and stocks continue to go down, just take a look at what the smart money is doing. The whole market is red. Some people are selling out. They're moving over to the bond market. Square Inc. has just announced like loads of good news in the last few weeks, and still it's continued to crash down. A lot of us here are seeing the same things with Bionanogenomics and Exxon as well for the last month, as well as Nano Dimension. And I can't give you financial advice. I can only make entertaining videos, but I just keep watching what smart money does, and they just keep doubling down on the highest conviction stocks that they have, usually to lower their averages and because they believe long term in the stock. So Cathie Woods was saying, I can show you the world, shining, shimmering, splendid. So while the market is dipping, I continue to dollar cost average into certain stocks, and this is for my family members. This is what they're actually doing. So Palantir, every time it takes a tumble into like the 23s, 24 zone, we've just been dollar cost averaging into Palantir. So yeah, what we've been doing is one of my family members actually bought this quite high, about $840, and we literally keep averaging down. So that's what they're doing. They just average down and buy a little bit more here, $100 here, $100 there, whenever they get cash. And if you see what ARK's been doing for Palantir in multiple portfolios, in the ARK KK portfolio, you can see that they spent $59 million on Palantir on February 26th, and then on March 3rd, they bought $45 million. They've also been steadily buying $19 million, $15 million worth in the ARK W folder. They trimmed a little bit yesterday, but overall, it looks like they're very long-term bullish on Palantir. Another thing that I really like about this site, I'm going to show you here. I can see events like upcoming earnings. So I can see all the earnings in ARK's folder portfolio. We can see what's coming up for them, and also how much they're trimming or buying over the nice, 14-day period, 30-day periods, 1 day and 7 day. So we can see all of these earnings are coming up in April, their earnings report. So we can see here, everything has been trimmed in the last, few days, apart from Teradyne. So if we take a look here at Teradyne, ARK Invest has actually been increasing its shares by 20,000, then they added another 31,000 shares into Teradyne. And April 19 is its upcoming earnings date. We can also see the most traded stocks, so we can see how much is the daily volume. So for March the 4th, we can see here that there was a lot of volume for GE, and we can see Palantir also in there, as well as Nano Dimension, Tesla, and all of those big boys. I also love looking at this. This is insider buying and selling. So it shows the companies that ARK currently owns, and it shows you from Alphabet to Berkeley Lights to Roku to Facebook Inc. who is selling shares on what date and how much. There's also the ability to look at unusual options activity. So one of the ones I was looking at here was a call for Palantir. It's for June 18th, 2021. So these are the number of days before expiration, DTE. You can see the volume, the amount of contracts that were pulled out. You can see here 19,797 call options were put out, and the strike price is around $26. Now, I don't do calls and I don't do puts, but I find it very interesting to see what the kind of market activity is going on around these stocks. Now, for all my bingo cowboys, I wanted to show you this bingo analyst rating, and this is very interesting on NASDAQ. It says that bingo is now a strong buy. The three analyst firms making recommendations are Ladenburg, Oppenheimer, and Roth Capital PA. So now these guys, based on analysts offering a 12-month target price for bingo in the last 3 months, the lowest estimate is $14. The average price estimate is $14.33, and the high estimate is $15, as we can see here. So if they're predicting on the low side that for 12 months, the price target for them on the low side is $14. It's nice to see what the analysts are doing. They could always be wrong. We could be even higher, or we could be even lower than that. It's just an estimate for them. Long term, I believe in this stock. My average is still $11.90. when I get some cash, I'm going to average down because I believe in this and I'm going to be holding this for many years to come, up to 5 years, baby, maybe even 8 years, 10 years. So we've heard it from Cathie before, innovation is key to growth and the genomics industry is about to grow. You can see here as governments are starting to budget in and they're starting to allocate how much they want to increase public spending on genomic industry. And we can see here they want to put £22 billion by 2025, putting the UK on track for 2.4% of our GDP being spent on research and development by 2027. So just picture that, that's 22 billion just here in the UK. There's a lot of good companies, there's a lot of competition, but I believe in our Sapphire machine and I believe we are key to being able to diagnose and find some structural variations that others cannot. Not only that, but just wait till we're able to look at other comorbidities too. Dementia costs. By 2018, the cost of dementia globally will reach $1 trillion and it's going to double to $2 trillion by 2030. So this is an estimate for the cancer cost worldwide, and this is from the 2010 estimate. So it's estimating 1.16 trillion US dollars cancer costs economically worldwide, and this does not include the indirect costs to the families of people with cancer. And King's College University in London says the global cost of diabetes is set to almost double by $2.5 trillion by 2030. So I think funding into genomics is going to continue to grow for years to come, and ARK Invest is actually predicting that 3D printing and genomics is going to be some of the most biggest booming industries that we can see. Also, in terms of the aggregates here on Lucid Tracking, we can see that they've built out a lot surrounding healthcare and genomics. So you can see 10x Genomics here. There's loads of different genomic companies that they are building into. CM Life Sciences. And we can see why ARK Invest has decided to invest in these kinds of industries, but because they're predicting massive gains. They're predicting 30 billion here, 60 billion here, development, $165 billion. So it's always interesting to see what smart money is doing, and that's what I've been looking at, building in and strengthening down on my positions during this Red Sea. I see it as more of a discount day to dive into a bargain bucket. The only problem I've been facing is not having enough cash on hand. So that's the only problem I see with these red dip days. And remember, this is not financial advice, this is for entertainment only. I'm just showing you what big smart money is doing and what I plan on doing as well. So if you'd like to support me, just click the join button up here. But if you're unable to join the Patreon or join this channel memberships, just you hitting the like and clicking subscribe means the world to me. Thank you so much for your love and support. And don't forget, if you want to use this Lucid tracking site, just check my description box below. You'll see there I'm using the premium version so I can see all of the aggregates and the rankings. And just to see what ARK's up to, baby. Sneaky. Thank you very much for watching. I love ya. Mr. Invest a lot. Over and out, baby.